Hi everyone, welcome to this month's free market commentary. In this month's commentary, I'm going to have a look at the three main US indexes, which is the Dow or Wall Street. We've also got the Nasdaq and the S&P. We had some interesting action in the month of July, and it'll be interesting to see how that then plays out for the month of August and where the potential trades might come from. Also want to then have an updated look at pound versus dollar, or cable as it's better known, as well as the euro dollar, which is really interesting. And then what I'm going to do is have a look at that cross pair, which is the euro versus the pound. So quite a bit to get through, so let's get started. Now, one of the things that I highlighted, and I actually put this up on Facebook through the month, so if you've not checked it out, check out Trader Support Club on Facebook, and you can like our page, and we've got the updates and things that we put up there. Now, what I've done is I've highlighted the fact that on the Dow and also on the Nasdaq, we're seeing some really clear divergence. Now, as I've mentioned in some previous videos and recent commentaries, divergence is simply when price is moving one way and the RSI indicator's moving the opposite way. So you can see price is moving slightly higher and the RSI is moving slightly lower. So that's divergence. Now, what that often can indicate is the potential of the end of a move, whether it's up or down. So what's interesting is we were pushing higher, and it was just gradual little highs, and we finally had this big move. Now, it really happened predominantly over one day because we were playing out within this whole range for quite a while, moving just slightly higher, and then we've tipped over. Now, one of the things that I've mentioned previously is I was looking to see if price would get to this level here, 16,600. It did hit there all within one day, and now I'm going to see what are the opportunities in the coming month. Now, the thing that I have to be aware of, and this is something I've highlighted quite a few times to people, when you see quite a big move like this in one day, it can be often that the market can go a little bit quiet or a little bit choppy, a bit volatile, as it just tries to suss out what's going on. You might find there's lots of profit taking, new orders coming in, just that variety going on, which just creates a bit of volatility. So I'm going to watch this and just see how it plays out over this coming week, and then might there be opportunities, because what we might see is price move back up in a pullback fashion. So if you're a pullback trader, that could be worth looking for now that we have made a new low. Alternatively, for me, I'm a breakout trader. I'm going to see if there's any sort of consolidation that happens over the next week or so on the Dow that might present a breakout opportunity. Now, with regards to that, the question would be, where can we really go? Well, we've got a little bit of space if we break these recent lows down to, initially the first level I see is down at about 16,200 if I use the round number, and obviously 16,000 itself. So we do have a little bit of space to the downside. The only other thing we want to be aware of is, ever since, if we go back a long way, and I really need to go to the weekly to show this, if we take it back all the way since this move up in 2009, you'll notice that the corrections haven't been that big. The biggest one we got was here, and that's when there was a lot of chaos going on in Europe, etc. So from that point of view, the question is this the potential of a move down, or is it just another one of these minor corrections? And that's what we want to just keep an eye on, and let it present itself before we move forward. Now, what's interesting is this one has worked out as far as a reversal goes, because it's done the divergence and rolled over. Interestingly, what happened on the Nasdaq is the Nasdaq showed the divergence, but it popped higher first. So had you potentially been trading this on both markets, there's the divergence there, and you can just see it in here. But you'll notice it actually broke a little bit higher. So if you're being really honest and analysing this, there's a potential that you would have had a losing trade if you had gone short on the Nasdaq, whereas with the Dow you would have a winning trade. But again, like the Dow, we're in a really interesting area now, and we have had this move down. So again, because we've then got some clean air down to here, what I would be looking for is maybe we get a little bit further down, maybe a little bounce up, and then I could start to look, right, if we break down, look for that, whether it's a breakout or a pullback. Alternatively, if we end up in a large range, you could maybe look at either the breakout here or the reversal up at 4,000. Now, interestingly, what you will notice though is this meant we moved a little bit higher on the Nasdaq. We paused round about here with a slight peak up there as well, and this was the reason I think that it might have happened. If you look at the S&P had not hit its highs initially when we started to get the divergence on the other ones, and it was only once that happened we then seen the move down. Now that was one of the slight clues as to that we might see it go a little bit higher first, and then once that's happened, then we've seen the move down. Now again, the S&P is not too far from these lows at 1900, so I'd be watching to see that. And if we then bring up this trend line, this is roughly where we've come into at the moment. We've just broken a little below that. So we're starting to show signs of selling. It's not fully confirmed yet. We need to see a bit more evidence, but in the coming month it might be that there's some potential short opportunities on the US markets. As I say though, based on previous corrections, I wouldn't be looking for big runs, or if we do, it really needs to prove itself. And then if we look long, get back to previous highs and then look for breakouts from there. Okay, so going into cable. Now cable's one that I've discussed quite often, and after quite some time we're starting to see a bit of selling pressure. Now one of the things that we've seen, I'm not too keen on this trend line, but I'm going to show you anyway. This trend line here we broke towards the end of last month. Then you'll notice there was a slight consolidation and then we broke down further. The line that I prefer better, because it factors in more of the movement overall, is the channel line, which is this move here. So you'll notice that even although we're not hitting it, we're getting very close. We've also broken that. So because we've now broken this, we're moving down. The only thing I would say is we've not yet made a new low, because we need to really take out this level here, which also happens to be that 200 moving average. So in the coming month it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with cable, whether or not we maybe pull back from here and come back down. Then that would start to create a lower high, so I'd be looking for that. Alternatively, as I've already expressed, if I was going to go long this market, I wanted quite a wide consolidation. Don't know if I wanted it this wide, but if it comes back up, I'd be looking for a bounce, and then I'd maybe start to look long again. But at this moment in time, we're starting to show some selling signals, so I would definitely be looking in the first instance at short trades on cable. The only thing I would say, just to finish on cable, is because we've had such a lovely run down, the current run down looks like it's potentially running out of momentum. So I would prefer to see it pull back or consolidate for at least a week, maybe a bit longer than that actually, just so that if I was going to short it, I'm getting a newer momentum. Now, if we go to Euro, Euro's actually more interesting right now, because what the Euro's actually done, you'll see, is overall, if we take the wide viewpoint, it has been consolidating, but it has recently broken some quite key levels. We've broken this little round number at 13,500, then we've broken these lows and these previous highs. So for me at this stage, the Euro's looking really nice for a potential pullback opportunity. We've got the 50 moving average now pointing down. The 50 and the 200 have crossed. Now they're good indicators about the potential trend of the market. So now that that's happened and we've broken down, it would be interesting to see if we move a little higher, we might get the pullback opportunity. Alternatively, if we consolidate for a little while, we may then get the breakout opportunity. So Euro at this stage is the one that's looking most likely to offer something in the short term, whereas the others have to play out a little bit more. So I'd be keeping an eye on that. Then just to finish this month's free market commentary, we've got Euro Pound. Now, the Euro Pound has been trending down beautifully, and it's offered some really nice setups. One of the strategies that we have, the swing momentum pullback strategy, it actually offered quite a few lovely setups. But what you'll notice is on Friday, which was the first of the month, we've actually just slightly taken out this area here. So we're starting to show that that move down is potentially finished, and from a technical point of view, that move is now finished. The question is, where do we go from here? Now, two of the options is, if we can push higher, we might get the potential of an early pullback opportunity. Alternatively, it might be that we go into a large range. So what we could look for is price to come back down and look for a reversal, maybe at this S1, for a move back up. You'll notice as well, on the lead to that move up, there was a lot of the divergence that we discussed earlier on the US indices. Same again here, and we've had this move up. So what I would be looking for is either a move back down for the reversal, or alternatively, if we can start to break higher, maybe even take out this area, then we'll start to pull the moving averages, and we might then get some nice pullback opportunities as well as breakout opportunities. So Lots and lots of lovely things to look forward to in the month of August. I would say Euro's the one that's current, Euro versus dollar. Pound versus dollar has to play out along with the US indices. They've got to play out a little bit more, but that might be more into the middle of the month that we then see opportunities there along with Euro pound. So thanks for watching this month's free commentary, and I'll see you next month. Bye for now.